Hi, I'm Katie Couric and welcome to Eye to Eye. Paul McCartney's estranged wife, Heather Mills McCartney, is trying to salvage her image after a public and very bitter divorce. She talked to Elizabeth Palmer about her latest high-profile charity campaigns.
Why are the British media so aggressive with you?
Because there's a lot of powers behind it creating it, to say that diplomatically.
Why though?
Because there's a lot of people behind it trying to do it, because I'm controversial, I'm very passionate about my beliefs. And anyone that, is passionate about things that affect big corporations, they want to create negative press so that you're not taken seriously.
So you think it has to do with the causes you champion and not with your marriage to Paul?
No, I got bad press when I was married to him, all the time.
For what reason then?
The same as Yoko, the same as Linda, the same as anyone that marries a Beatle.
Because?
I don't know. Ask them.
In just sheer publicity terms, you know better than anybody how the media works. The potential for ridicule of you taking up the cause of pigs is huge.
I'm so used to ridicule, do you know what I mean? But what people ridiculed me about the dog and cat fur campaign. They ridicule me about everything I do, but it changes laws, it changes. So that's what you have to stay focused on. If you spend your life worrying about ridicule, then people, I'm sure your neighbours ridicule you when you walk down the street in an outfit. It's like, put it in perspective.
But they mostly ridiculed you, or at least been savage, about your divorce settlement with Paul.
Well, there is no settlement, so we'll clear that now, full stop. And I was ridiculed the whole time I was married to Paul, as was Linda, till the day she died, sadly, as is Yoko, as is anyone that marries a Beatle. That just goes with the territory. So what you have to focus on is when you put on a platform where you have the opportunity to speak out on behalf of the animals and on behalf of causes that are very important, then you have to do that. And I tried keeping quiet and saying nothing for nearly 10 months, apart from one interview on veganism. And it didn't work. I was in the papers every day, even though I didn't do anything except walk down the street and keep my head down. So now I've just thought, okay, I better get back on my soapbox and start putting the issues out there and creating the changes. And just do what's important. I don't want to spend my life being Mrs. Switzerland and worrying about what people think. I create extreme opinions in people because I have opinions. Who wants to spend their life having no opinion on something and just being ruled like an army of ants?
But do you think there's ever a way you're going to be able to keep attention on the causes you espouse, or are you fated to be the woman who bruised our Paul, the woman who took our Paul's money?
It doesn't matter, I didn't take any of his money, so it's just rubbish, They want to make up. I was a very successful $50,000 an hour public speaker before I was with Paul. Let's put things in perspective. It's like me saying to you, if you got divorced, you were nothing without your husband. That's like putting women down in general.
Yeah, but you said it yourself. You were married to a Beatle. It's almost unbeatable now. You did it, and that's your fate for the rest of your life.
That's like saying, you've got cancer, so let's just give up and die. It's just such a pessimistic attitude.
You think you can get over it?
I am over it. It's not about thinking of getting over it.
You think the media will get over it?
It doesn't matter about the media. What matters is you're here now, you want to talk to me, I can get the issues across. The real people at home don't believe the incontinent rubbish that comes out of the tabloids' mouths. You get a small percentage of Beatle crazies, and then they say, oh, she's had death threats, she's had this. It's a tiny percentage. When I walk down the street, I don't get people shouting abuse. I get people coming up and going, oh, good for you, it's terrible what they're doing, it's this, it's that. That's all I get. If I went round feeling the hatred that the press are trying to create, then maybe I would be more affected. But I don't get that, because people are not stupid. And for the media to talk to them like they are stupid is just, ridiculous, and just makes them not believe them even more. The press write rubbish, I sue them. I win, I get 2 lines of apology. So what I'm going to do next is create a law in Europe, basically, that when they do a full page of lies, they have to do a full page of apologies. And that's how it should be. And there should be
big campaign.
Well, my big campaigns work.
Tell me, I have to ask you for the record, how close are you to being able to announce a settlement with Paul and putting that chapter behind you?
Ask Paul. It's down to him. I've got no idea. Could be another year.